This is for the girls, the gays, and the days who grew up with Barbie wallpaper, bunk beds, now that's what I call music playing in their CD player, wearing gauchos, who now have grown up to have crippling anxiety, listen to too much T Swift, pissed they have no rights, and don't know what the fuck they're doing with their lives. So light some incense, grab a glass of wine, and listen along.
My name is Lauren. I'm the older of the two sisters, and I am now 28. Today is my birthday. Happy birthday to me.
Late 20s. 2 years to the big show. You're so old.
Let's not talk about it. Anyway, I work for a university teaching grad students and just trying to live my best life in Indiana.
And I am McKenna. I am 24. I'm the middle child, the most fun, the most rambunctious of the lot. I am an esthetician. I'm a small business owner, and I just kind of float my way through life.
It's all the best we can do. So, some things to expect on this podcast. We are going to live by the motto of books, balls, and Battlestar Galactica. We're going to be talking of anything about books, the books we're reading, our favorite ones, authors that we are absolutely in love with. We're going to be talking sports girlies here. We're also going to be talking about current events, pop culture, trends, things that we enjoy. And then we're also going to do a few other little fun things, such as our girl crush of the week, rain of the week, and highlighting a charity. So those are just a few things to be on the lookout for us in our podcast.
So let's get started.
Yes. So McKenna, what is this week's read?
Okay, so
what is your current read?
So honestly, this month has been like an iconic month if you are a book reader. If you are a romance book reader, this month has been a whirlwind.
Of series, not even just because of Valentine's Day. Like, everyone said, oh, let's release our series within the past 2 weeks.
Yes, and so the books, let's go back. So what I'm reading. So the series that I'm reading currently is the Windy City series. And the book, the second book, The Right Move, just came out 2 days ago. So I'm currently reading that. And let's just take a moment for Miss Lizzie. Liz Tomford, everyone. Just round of applause for her.
Extra wigs.
You know what? It's something about the Wattpad authors that have turned into real authors. Well, I'm not saying that people in Wattpad aren't real, but like turn into published authors. They know how to fucking write. They just know. They know how to get you, and I'm here for it.
They write the most swoon-worthy, steamy boys.
So that, like,
something is.
I literally get so giddy reading it. I'm just like
pulling your hair, kicking your feet, like ooh.
Yes, like I giggled the other day, and I'm just like, oh my god, like I'm just reading.
Oh boy.
But okay, so yes, I'm reading The Right Move, which is the second part or the second of the Windy City series. She had a series before this one called the Selfless series. And you know why I couldn't find it, by the way? Like, you have it downloaded to your Kindle. That's why we have it. But she took it off because she was having, like, her publishers did her dirty. And so she's like, I don't know when I'll be able to sell it again. But anyway.
Because everyone deserves to read that book.
Yeah, so she was like, please don't read this because don't, like, essentially, like, put money in their pockets because she doesn't see any of that money.
Ugh.
Yeah, but I still read it because I couldn't help myself.
Well, I have it downloaded, so what's done is done at this point.
Yeah, so it's essentially the Selfless series starts out with obviously a couple, and it's like kind of like it establishes the found family. And so, but the Windy City series goes off of that and like that found family. So the Windy City book number 1, the main female character, this one is the brother of her and her best friend. And
we love
it's a fake relationship / romance, like forced proximity, and I'm here for it. And
Everything
it's a grumpy sunshine.
Oh, even better.
Yes, I am here for it. So I'm only on, let's see. I'm only 29% of the way through, but so far it's been really good. How she words like his thought process of like him like trying to ignore her and not catch feelings, but catching feelings. It is perfection.
Yes.
Like she writes it so well.
We love
but the things that I like about this whole series and just her writing style is the mental health awareness, and not just mental health awareness in general with like the females, but with the males.
Yes, agreed.
Like the male characters and giving them the space to be vulnerable and to talk about their feelings, and then them not being like emasculated for it. Like it's like almost empowering, encouraging for them to like feel what they're feeling and to tell them what they're feeling. And I am here for it. Like, give me that 6'5" all-star hockey player sobbing to his girlfriend. Like, I love it. Like, I love it. And so that is one thing I think she does well. She also does well with, like, obviously inclusion and just making sure that, like, everyone gets represented. Like, I love the fact that, for instance, like, there's this book, the dad of her is deaf. So they have, like, sign language in it. Like, different things like that. And then, like, obviously Ryan is mixed. So, yes. Here for it. And then what I don't like, I haven't found something that I don't like so far, but I know that we were talking about this the other day about how, like, her writing has improved. Like, it's improved tremendously from, like, the book, like, the first Selfless book. Like, it was still kind of very Wattpad-y, but, like, now, yeah, and now that, like, reading this one, it's, like, it's
night and day almost.
But, like, pure perfection. I haven't even finished it. I have not finished it, and I love it so far.
The Selfless series is still good. It's not like she wasn't good and got good. It's like she just upped the ante to another level with it. Yeah. So I'm rereading the Selfish series to prepare for the right move because I need Eli and Logan back in my life. Oh, what a couple, what a man, what a little found family. Like, she set up her series so well. However, spoiler alert, I'm still waiting on Mark and Allie's book. Like, I want that book like in my core and I need it. So I guess that's another thing I don't like. Where's Allie and Mark's book? Like, we have been set up. I need this book. So
we know the back, like, it needs, like, I don't know why it hasn't happened.
Yes. So Lizzie in the series. Liz, I don't know if it's because of your stupid publisher, but if you're out there listening to this, please give us Mark and Allie. You're doing great things. I just need more.
So the main guy character gets introduced for the third book in this book already, and he's a single dad.
Oh, we love the third book in a hockey series being a single dad. Like, let's talk about it. Like, so we're gonna love that because we love that trend. But also,
so because like her and Becca are friends, and they both came from Wattpad.
Becca Mack, our queen Becca Mack, giving us everything with Carter Beckett. Like, even the name itself, like just saying Carter Beckett. And you're like, oh.
Well, same with Garrett, though. Garrett Anderson.
But they're like, Adam, Daddy Adam Lockwood, give me that book. Like, I know.
I need to devour it. Like the way that I devoured Garrett's.
Yes, her 600-page book is not going to be good enough for Adam. I don't care what she cuts. Like, Becca, again, if you're out there listening to me, give me Adam's book and then give me a short story of every scene that you cut, because I will devour it. Devour it.
Like, when she's like, we gotta cut stuff down. I'm like, no, give me the uncut version. Like, I need every little scene. I need every morsel of hope of these characters.
Every time she posts about it, because like obviously she's still marketing her Consider Me and Play With Me, but like every time she posts about Adam, I like gobble 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 gobble. Like I'm like sending it to you, you're sending it to me. Like
I can't go without talking about books and reading without bringing up Becca Mack. That's how much of a girl crush I have on her. Like, I need Becca Mack to be my friend.
Becca Mack came out of nowhere and hit me upside my head, and now I feel like I'm obsessed. Like,
you know what? Becca Mack's my Carter Beckett. He came out of nowhere. I didn't want it, but here I am stuck with it, and I could not be happier with it.
I can't get away, and Becca Mack is taking over my life exactly like Carter Beckett would.
Yes. Like, Becca Mack is our Carter Beckett.
Like, I still to this day don't know, like, how I found her. Like, I don't understand. Like,
the thing about it, what I love, and it's like, I almost want to gatekeep her. And I know that sounds awful.
Oh my gosh. She's getting big on TikTok, and like a lot of my Facebook groups that I'm like in for book recs, everyone's like, oh my God, I just read this book and it's amazing. And I'm like, yay for Becca, but come on, like, this is me. Like, I don't want her to
it's like her dirty little secret. Like, I don't want anyone to know. Like, I love her so much, but I'm like, also, like, I don't need to gatekeep her. Like share the love. Like, you know, she's a great author, but I'm like, I like knowing that it's just, you know, it's just for me.
I know, because like I found her before like she got bit. Like, I guess she's still not like super. She's not Colleen Hoover big, but like I found that book before like anybody mentioned it on TikTok, and like I was like, I still don't know. Again, I don't know where I found it, but I found it, and it became an addiction. Like, yeah. I still remember it took you a month to read it after I was like, you have to read this book.
Yeah. And well, in my defense, I was literally knee deep in the Addicted series, like
a whole life consuming series. Yeah. However, we also did get our grandma to read Becca Mack, so that should tell you the level of fan we are for Becca Mack. Oh, and
grandmother,
and she loved it. Yeah. It comes from full circle, because the very first hockey book I read was Helena Hunting, and Becca Mack likes Helena Hunting, and like those are my queens of hockey romance. Like
Helena Hunting laid the foundation, like, you know, like just like the groundwork for all these hockey romances.
Helena Hunting walked so Becca Mack could run.
Yes,
like
exactly.
And Helena Hunting is now still running a marathon, because like her books are so good, and like no one talks about it, but she is like I'm sure there's other hockey books out there, but she is one of like the founding mothers of hockey romance. Like, I just looked it up, and Puck came out in 2015. Like
that. Like, I know that doesn't sound very long ago, but for like how much like TikTok has like blown up like the romance and stuff like that. 2015, like she was before the time.
Yes, because like reading culture wasn't as big, or no one talked about it as much, and no one talked about reading like smutty romance. Like, I mean, 50 Shades of Grey probably was kind of when people were like, "Oh, I'm okay. Like, I'm gonna tell you that I read about sex." Like, because all the movies came out, and everyone was like, "I've read the books," but like now everyone's like, let me tell you about the sex scene I just read.
You know what? But everyone's sex lives is so much better because of it. So
yes. So that's I love the authors that are like, whenever I think of a scene, I get to try it on my significant other. You know, their significant other.
Everyone's winning. Everyone's winning in this scenario.
And let's talk about another release that, you know, obviously The Right Move just came out. Elsie Silver's Powerless book comes out tomorrow. The audio has been out.
Yes. I just went through like a TikTok, like just black hole of all quotes and snippets from that book, and I cannot wait to start the series. That's my I will say
yes. You are going to love the series, but also I read a caption today that said Jasper's a soft
ring right off her finger.
I fucked the ring right off her finger, and I was like,
I need it.
like, that was the one I sent you, and I was like, oh, okay. But you have to read, like, you can start off on her series now, but you still need to go back and read her first series. So good. Like, I don't know what she puts in her books, but I read that. You can attest to this. I read a 4-book series within a week. Within a week, when I was supposed to be reading Becca Mack. And I just couldn't stop.
She cheated on Becca Mack. That's how you know it was a good book.
Cheated on Becca Mack and delayed Play With Me by a week because I couldn't put Elsie Silver down. That was a 5-hour plane ride of straight reading Elsie Silver.
Yeah. So I started Dreamland Billionaires, and I read that book in like a day. And so
yeah.
I do want to finish reading that series, and then I'm going to devote Elsie Silver.
I don't know, but you also need to finish the what is Lauren Asher's first series, the F1 series?
Dirty Air. I know. I read that series has been like a thorn in my side. I keep trying to finish it and I cannot.
Here's the roller coaster that is the Dirty Air series. It's our first book's okay to good. Like, you're gonna continue reading. The second book I just never got into. It's nothing against her. It just wasn't my trope. Wasn't for me. And I was like, okay. The third and fourth book just like took me on this roller coaster, and like you need it. You need the third and fourth book.
No, but I have to read a series in order. Like, I can't just not. Like, I'll get through the worst book. But I will say though,
just skim through
the first book. What is it? Noah and I don't know her name.
Oh, hang on.
But I will say that is a good book to recommend someone who's getting into like romance books, like sport romance books, because it's a lot bit like more fluffier than Spice.
Yes, it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's young adult, but it's kind of Maya's Noah and Maya.
Yes,
it's not like young adult.
So like my high school students, like I would recommend that book to them.
It's like a good 17 to 20-year-old.
Yeah.
It has a little bit of spice, but the third and fourth book deal with some heavy topics, and the angst is just no spoilers, but the angst.
But if I'm reading Elsie Silver and Lauren Asher's book, you have to read the Addicted series, Lauren, because it's going to grab you by the neck and not let you go.
The Addicted or the Twisted?
Twisted, not Addicted. Twisted.
I knew. Twisted. I was the one to introduce you to the Addicted. So yes.
Well, that one too. I was in like a whole world, but Twisted series. I get those two mixed up all the time. But the Twisted series, though, like
I know,
you're going to love it. It is the perfect tropes, perfect character, male boyfriends for you. And the fact that you keep putting it off makes me so mad.
Well, it's exactly like you would consider me, so I don't want to hear it. Like, I'm in my sports era, so let me be in my sports era.
I need you
Speaking of sports era, are you ready to move on to our sports topic? The balls. The balls. Even though not much of what we watch is with balls. So,
okay, first thing, the bowl.
The Rihanna Bowl. Because I don't care who wins.
I do want Philadelphia to win. That's my Super Bowl prediction. Or I don't want to say prediction. That's my hope. I hope that they win.
That's my prediction. I think the trenches, Philadelphia's O-line and D-line is too much for Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes is magic, but I don't see it. I think
so I feel like, yes, like he's a good QB, but like it's not always about the QB. And
Yeah.
like, and I also think like when you play with a chip on your shoulder, like, I just think that like they want it more.
Yeah. And I feel like Philly's going to pull it out. Like, I think that their defensive line is going to wreak havoc, and I feel like their offensive line is going to keep the Kansas City defensive line from wreaking havoc. And Kansas City's safeties and defensive backs are not as good as they're not the best in the league. So I just feel like that's something that Hurts can exploit if he has time, which I think his offensive line is going to give him time. So that's my prediction. I don't know the score. I'm not going to predict that much. I just predict that the Eagles are going to be victorious.
There is something I want us to predict. I don't know if you saw this. I put it in the notes. What Super Bowl dish would each QB be?
Jalen Hurts has to be buffalo chicken dip. Like, reliable with a little bit of spice. Like, and just like can eat that shit up. Like, that is Jalen Hurts.
So I have one for Mahomes.
What do you think Mahomes is?
I think Mahomes would be bean dip. Hear me out. Because, like, it's consistent. It's consistently good. It's always good. Consistent. But you're going to regret cheering for it later on.
So here's, I'm going to go off the wall. So I know we have QBs, but I'm going to go even further into players. And the Kelsey brothers are going to be the skyline dip.
Yeah.
Because
I almost put the Kelsey brothers, and I almost put just because I wanted them to be skyline, not because they're Cincinnati ties, but they would be the skyline dip.
They are the base of what is good. Like,
yes,
Travis Kelce is the most significant person on that offense besides Patrick Mahomes. Even then, still is up there. And Jason just keeps, that middle, protects his quarterbacks, and they're just solid. They're solid. Never going to
little Mr. Kelsey got in trouble with Cincinnati fans the other day.
He's trying to make up for it. He's doing his little Cincinnati apology tour. He wore like a UC hat on their podcast and was like, I love Cincinnati.
I saw that clip and I was just like, you're backtracking now. You realize you fucked up.
Yeah. And so, like, they're both are Ohio born, like, skyline brothers.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Okay. And then this is something that I could literally talk. Okay. No, before I bring this up, because let's stick with football, because I can talk about this topic that I've already bring up for a long time. Stick with football for real quick. I know that the Bengals lost, but Burrow and the TikTok girlies. The TikTok girlies swooped him up and said, let me protect you. You're coming home with me.
Yes, my favorite TikToks are the ones where, like, put me out there and I would protect Joe Burrow better than his offensive line because no one is touching the hair on his head. And I'm like, yes, I've seen these girls at One Direction concerts and like Harry Styles concerts, and you were talking about a feral group, the TikTok girlies on Joe Burrow. Yes. But also, like,
next year, Zach Taylor needs to fill the O-line with TikTok girlies. We'll be untouchable.
Yes. We would go and have a perfect season because no one would be getting to Joe Burrow with those TikTok girlies as. Yes. And like,
so feral.
So feral, but also like the fact that they are like, how odd is it for our hometown team? Like, I was born and raised a Bengals fan to like be popular. Like, Joe Burrow's
so weird. Like,
it is so weird because like I used to like never see anybody with Bengals merch, and I see people all the time now. But also, like, Joe Burrow's jersey was the best-selling jersey in the UK. Like, that's wild. Like, it's internationally.
Yeah, like, it's weird to have, like, a player that, like, has that much fame on a team like ours. Like, it feels like it shouldn't happen because I'm so used to us sucking.
I know. Like, the fact that I still have not grasped the fact that Joe Burrow has as many playoff wins as the Bengals franchise pre-Burrow. Like, that's wild to me.
Yeah.
Like, in the fact that I've seen 5 of them in my lifetime, when prior I had never seen a Cincinnati like pro team win a playoff game, like or series, I guess, in the MLB. Like, that's wild to me. And now they have 5 racked up, 2 AFC championship appearances, a Super Bowl appearance. Like, what? Like, I honestly didn't even know.
Okay.
No, I didn't even know what the AFC trophy was called because I never paid that much attention because the Bengals were always out. Like, until last year. And I was like, oh.
I'm so used to being the laughing stock of NFL. For now, where like we can be taken seriously, it's weird.
Yeah. And everyone hates us. And we're like, nah, we've always been like this. Y'all just didn't like
I know, they're like, these Bengals fans are so obnoxious. Like, we've always been like this. You just didn't know because we weren't good.
We just talk our talk, and now we can talk our talk and walk our walk because we got Burrow. And like, his like the thirst traps, but also just the social media presence and the fan cams. Like, my favorite TikTok though was one I'd seen a little bit ago, and they were like, I just know there is a football group message out there that roast Joe Burrow about his thirst traps, and they're just sending them to him. And I just know it. Like, Jamar Chase is giving him shit all the time. Like, I'd put money on it.
Oh, 100%. But I also think Burrow knows. He just knows what he's doing.
He knows. Like, Burrow is BDE personified. Like, that's just what it is.
The I need a big boy, give me a big boy. That song was about the Bengals. You cannot tell me otherwise. Like, Sam Hubbard, Joe Burrow.
The amount of
Higgins.
Yes. Like, the amount of like just edits I've seen to that song for Burrow, but specifically Sam Hubbard, and I'm like, you guys are onto something. You are onto something.
Mask. Oh my god.
Oxygen mask.
Someone can make an oxygen mask look hot, but man, oh man.
Did you watch any of the Pro Bowl games this past week?
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh. So they obviously now are playing flag football instead of a football game. But like, this is why I love this team so much. So obviously Jamar Chase is playing in the game, but Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins were not playing, but they were there in attendance. And after Jamar Chase scored a touchdown, he went and threw it straight to T. Higgins, and T. Higgins just like smiling away. And Tyler Boyd offers him some of the tequila, and Jamar like goes back for it and was like, nope, I gotta think about my paycheck. And he like thought better of it, but like they were okay. I think it could definitely be expanded on, but I definitely thought it was kind of interesting, some of the stuff they came up with, like just the little games instead of just a football game that nobody actually tried in.
Yeah. Huh. Okay. Now, my next topic, you're going to have to like stop me after talking about it because I can talk about it all the time. Which I'm always just going to drag Red Bull in the mud because I cannot stand Red Bull and Christian Horner. But the fact, like, you know how icky it made me feel, like Daniel being on, well, what talk show was he on?
Oh, I don't know, but oh man, he looked damn good on it.
Oh yeah, he looked, I mean, obviously, and Daniel's being Daniel, but it just made me feel so icky because it's just like, yes, he's the reserve driver, but he's the only one that can do something like that because one, he has a following, and two, he's the only one that people like because none of their drivers, like, no one likes their drivers because they're icky and they're awful people, and it's just like, you're only using him for good PR. Because, like, and I hate it. It makes me feel awful and icky, and I hate Red Bull.
What's even worse is that, like, Daniel looks so much happier in the PR that he's doing for Red Bull than he did at his 2 years at McLaren. So what the hell was going on at McLaren? Because, like...
Well, did you see that Lando's in hot water right now?
I still think I never could find anything about it.
No,
does it surprise
me? Like...
He is under hot water once a year. Like, it never fails. He always does something stupid and people drag him and then let it go.
Yeah. Well, I don't necessarily think it's like anything that he did personally. It's just like their PR, and just like they don't know the market, and they don't like understand, and like, and his brand in general like isn't like, they need better representation first off, but also like McLaren's PR team sucks, and
Like,
all they're doing now is just trying to clean up and just do a bunch of PR fluffs to like hide the fact that they're in tons of controversy, and that Lando's in tons of controversy, and they're doing all kinds of PR like fluff right now, and I'm just like people are seeing right through it. Like, you guys are icky people.
Let's talk about McLaren has set Lando up to fail by giving him this like child baby like persona of like, oh, he's so cute, look at him, he's so young. And now that like he's actually a grown adult and he says the stupidest things, everyone's like, oh, he's just young. No, he's been in this sport, this is his fourth season?
Yeah.
Like fourth or fifth season?
So,
like,
well, that's also another thing. I don't know exactly. Like, I don't know exactly what happened. Like, I know they're like, people are mad about how they worded his fan base in the GQ article. I don't know exactly what it was saying, but essentially was like, you know, they made a comment about like the young female attention. I'm like, but that was McLaren. Well, that's what McLaren did. Like, their PR had this young hotshot, you know, that they literally catered to that fan base. And now the fact that he does have a younger female following, like, it's obvious. And then they want to like backtrack. No. And then, like he's a grown adult. Like, his brain is developed. Like, you can't,
you don't use those cells that often.
But also, he's a privileged white boy who's grown up with money all of his life. He doesn't know consequences to his actions. And I think that, I mean, no matter what, when McLaren fucks up, they're going to have a scapegoat. So, like, which, you know, Lando's pretty much a paid driver. But, you know, I don't know. I don't think that they're going to have a very successful season, knock on wood, because they've
already started the excuses of not having a wind tunnel as like, and they're not going to be competitive until they have a wind tunnel. Lando screwed himself over by signing that long-term contract with McLaren. Like, I don't know what kind of promises Zach Brown promised him. Probably the same ones to lure Daniel away that failed. But, like, they're not going to be at the top. Yeah. They are not going to. My bet going in, they're not going to be the top three. Maybe not in the top four. They're not.
I mean,
also, like, Andre's leaving is just bizarre. Like,
so, that whole thing within itself, like him leaving or whatever, I'm just like, that's when you know that, like, there is stuff going on behind the scenes, because, like,
it's left field. Like, everything leaks in Formula One. Like, everyone knows what's going on, but that was never leaked. Like, I woke up one day and I was like, is this for real? Because obviously Formula One's news cycle is, like, at, 4 or 5 a.m. our time. So, like, I wake up and it's like, the day that Sebastian Vettel retired, and I was like, what? Like, what a way to wake up.
I know. Ugh. This grid's going to be so weird. I don't know if
I'm not a fan. Like, McLaren's already using the weirdest pictures. Like, I don't know if you saw the one of him and Oscar.
I put in the notes, I said, the Oscar makes me cringe. Like, why the fuck did they just crop him in that photo? He looks so awkward.
Like, Lando looks like he'd rather be anywhere but there. Like,
yes. And, like, just, I'm sure you've had X amount of days to do, like, a PR day. Why did you take 2 individual photos and try to crop them into each other? Like, it's so weird.
Like, and they're both kind of awkward anyways. Like, in the interviews, like, they're not very outgoing or bubbly. And so, like, props to their media team, because they're going to have a trip. Red Bull's media team is going to be trying to wrangle Max and Daniel in. I don't know if you've watched... Honestly, when I got into Formula One and I watched Drive to Survive, and then I went and looked up Daniel Ricciardo on YouTube, because that's what I do with all my hyperfixations. a lot of the videos I watched was Red Bull media videos of Daniel and Max.
Well, I will say I hate Max Verstappen, but I love
just
that
made me fall in love with Daniel so much more. Their videos are
also
nothing but
I don't
chaos.
know if it's going to be as good of a duo because
Are you still there?
Oh yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, there. Okay. So did you hear me don't know my rant about Max and Daniel's old videos? I love
it, but I just PR is going to be great for them, and like I know that was like probably a big motivator for re-signing Daniel as a reserve driver, but I just hate because like he deserves so much more.
Yes, he deserves more. He deserved a team that was willing to work with him and make the car fit him. I don't understand to this day of how Zach Brown and McLaren could have fought for Daniel since the 2018 season to come to their team, but yet they don't have the wherewithal to think, oh, we know how he drives. Everyone knows he's a late breaker. He was that is his claim to fame in this era of racing, is he's one of the latest late breakers. Why would you not necessarily make a car, but build a car that he can exploit the late braking? Like, what in the mindset of, oh, let's just throw him in a car and he can adjust? Like, there's got to be a midway point, and I just don't feel like McLaren made any improvements in that aspect. And maybe they did, and it just wasn't seen on the track. And I'm like, those were Daniel's worst 2 seasons, hands down. And I love Daniel. I'm not going to deny that he didn't perform. However,
he did better.
I don't think he crushed it at Renault, and I don't think you lose it that quickly. So it begs to ask the question of how much is on McLaren, and nobody asks that. And I know journalists are very biased, but like, how was there not any blame on the team? Shout out to ESPN's, what is his name? Nate something. Nate Saunders, who covers Formula One for ESPN, is one of the only journalists that I saw that said, Daniel's had rough seasons, but how much is on the team? And there should be blame on the team as well.
Yeah. Well, I think, you can't just blame one driver when the other driver was equally as bad and has been consistently equally as bad since his time in F1.
He's always middle of the pack.
He may have qualified better, but he consistently lost places.
Yes.
They were very close together every single race.
Yes. And that just, their strategy was off, and it was a nightmare. And so I am so, yes, I understand Red Bull. Daniel's Red Bull's PR puppet, but he, this past week when they put him on, PR rounds, he looked like he was loving his life. He has this, people are like, his hair's growing back, his skin's glowing, and I'm here for it. I'm here for him to love the sport still. And, even some of the journalists who were at the Red Bull launch event, which was in New York, which is so bizarre, but, okay. But said, how much better he looked. And for, them to say that, just kind of was oh, yeah, he is a lot better. So,
this past season, we did not get the Daniel that everyone fell in love with. McLaren stole his spirit.
Yeah. And I love how open he was about, he struggled mentally and, how
who wouldn't?
And how he, lost weight and, couldn't keep on weight because he was struggling. And, I like him being open about it, and I'm here for him just having fun and just getting to be kind of take a break, and I'm here begging for 2024 seat for him if that's what he wants, and I will be with him as long as he goes.
Yeah. Okay. What else do we have? Oh.
NHL All-Star
Weekend. Okay, I will say, this isn't in the notes, but I have to point out, I love my little hockey players. I love hockey. It's one of my favorite sports. But man, those boys do not know how to dress. They turned them loose on that carpet, and they did not know what to do.
Here's the thing about hockey. I have learned hockey culture breeds them to think of nothing but hockey, and you can tell because majority of them have no personality. They don't know how to dress. They they have the same cliche hockey terms that they talk about in their interviews, and like show some personality. Like the greatest star in the NHL, like Connor McDavid is the best player, like maybe leaning towards one of the best of all time. And they can't market him because he has no personality. None. He has none. Like, you can't even, like...
A cardboard box has a better personality.
Yes. Like, I get not wanting to do media. Like, look at Joe Burrow. He doesn't care to do media. He doesn't do any extra media. But he has personality and he has pizzazz. No.
Like, there's no swagger. But no one in NHL has swagger.
No, and like
awkward white boys just being awkward.
Yes, the best dressed ones are always the European ones. Like it's just.
I don't know if you've seen some of these photos of these hockey players. I'm just like, who let them walk out like that? Like, who let them dress like that?
Yes, and shout out to Sarah Sivian, who used to be the Canes beat reporter for The Athletic, who now works for Bleacher Report. She tries to get them to have some kind of personality, and sometimes she gets it, sometimes she doesn't, because they just have none. But, like, her question over the weekend was, like, what's your favorite T-Swift song? And, like, she does these, like, style rankings. Like, Keandre Miller always dresses well.
Obviously. Because he's out of NHL, he's probably the one that's the swaggiest. Like,
yes. Like, but like it's always so funny to see the teams try to hype him up, and you're just like, oh, they try. They try.
I will say, Sitchy Baby at All-Star Weekend, like, when he was the fastest skater, which is so, like, what we talked about, like, he's not even the fastest on his team, but, like, when he was the fastest skater, like, him skating with a smile on his face. I'm just like, you arrogant son of a bitch, but I'm here for it.
He was having a blast doing the fastest skater. He's like, oh, look at me go. And like his hair's flowing in the wind. And like, I was like, yes, like Svetch baby. Also, can we talk about how big of a mama's boy Svetch is and the fact that his mom like lives with him and goes on the trips with him and like,
I love it.
What a man. However, we were missing part of the duo because Marty Necas was snubbed from the All-Star. Yes. Marty Necas is an All-Star, and I will die on that. So that's that.
Necas should have been there.
Necas should have been there. Rod Brindamore, like I watched one of his
class act, man. Class act,
man. I watched one of his interviews that he did over the All-Star week, and he wasn't there to the day of the skills events because he was coaching his son's team. Like he coaches his little son's team, which is so funny because like his youngest son and Brent Burns' son are on the same like youth hockey team. And so like they like both traveled to Dallas to watch their kids play. He was talking about, and I think it's so fun.
I love it. I need that in a book.
Yes. Yes. Like their coaching everyone. Yeah. So while, Svetch was skating it up super fast in South Florida, the Finns and the honorary Finn, Seth Jarvis, making a Mexico trip, like, I'm here for it.
You cannot, I will always have a special place in my heart for the Finns and the honorary Finn.
I have to have some kind of Finnish blood because I relate to them so well and I am Finnish. Like, I have to have some in there.
I'm looking at the photos.
Oh, yes. KK's photo dump of them in his little beer t-shirt and then Seth Jarvis taking a nap on the beach. Like, we love Jarvie. Also, not looking forward to the trade deadline coming up because I think the Canes are going to make a big move, and I think Seth Jarvis is out there as possibly getting moved, and I just I can't see KK and Jarvis being split up. Like,
I don't know. That one's gonna hurt.
That one's gonna hurt. Might even hurt more.
That one's gonna hurt worse than Hamilton.
I was gonna say that might be worse than seeing Hamilton and Sitch have to break up. Like,
Yeah. That one's
and
gonna
so,
hurt.
yeah. So hopefully maybe they can keep Jarby. And the outdoor series next weekend. So excited. Wish I could go, but totally not financially feasible. Like, what the heck is that about?
Well, make the tickets cheaper next year. That's all I gotta say.
Like, just make them cheaper in general. No one can afford $400 per ticket for a nosebleed. Nope, not gonna happen. So, any more on the sports section?
What?
Any more on the sports section?
Nope. Now let's talk about the real performance of Super Bowl. Our Miss Riri's Super Bowl performance predictions. That's the only thing I put for our pop culture topic because, like, that's it.
Yes. I think that she's going to come out with one of her old songs. I think that's going to be her opener.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
First off, I think I know for a fact there's going to be so much culture.
Yes.
Just so much diversity, so much. Who are you with?
I'm looking at the TV.
Oh, so much just like, I think that there's going to be a lot of like body representation with our dancers. Like, I think it is going to be like, I think it's going to be iconic. I really do. Especially because this is going to be her first performance in years. Like, I think that, like, first off, she knows how to put on a show, but also, like, what a better comeback than the Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl. And, like, I see her just crushing it.
Who do you
like,
think she's going to bring out?
I don't know. I can't.
I think she's going to bring out her baby daddy, first off.
Well, obviously, I think that's going to happen.
Yeah. And what
I need is Tom Holland from his the umbrella singing dance.
Yeah.
How iconic.
So I kind of want her, which I know that she's already had a performance, but I want her to bring out Shakira because they had that song together.
Yes.
Or Beyonce. I think that, like, the two queens, which I don't think would ever happen, but she's going to bring out someone. But I also feel like, though, like, it's going to be, like, more like rappers.
I was going to say, what about Drake?
No, because they had that breakup and stuff.
Yeah, but, you know,
they have a lot of songs together, though.
I don't foresee her bringing out Eminem because he was just there last year.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
maybe she does it herself because this is the queen I am.
Honestly, that would be a mood. Like, that would be the move.
She's a star.
I'm trying to think who all she's like.
Well, she hasn't put out any like newer music, so it's hard to like any of the newbies to, you know, like Megan Thee Stallion or like Cardi B or anybody like that.
Maybe she'll like bring out Nicki. I can see her bringing Nicki.
Literally was thinking of that.
I think that she's featured on a few of her songs before.
Yeah, one of the big songs.
Yeah.
So I mean, I could see her bringing out Nicki.
Yeah, I could also see her like bring out like someone like Ariana Grande or like someone like that, or like Billie Eilish, like Miley Cyrus. Like I could see her like bringing out one of like
just like all the blue.
Yeah, but like also like good performance. You know who I want to see? I don't think obviously I think it would never, but there could be a connection. So I want to see Lana Del Rey.
Okay.
Because there is a connection, because Lana Del Rey has had, and her and ASAP have done a lot of work in the past together.
Maybe you can bring out that.
I can see, like, I would lose my shit. Like, Lana Del Rey and Rihanna together. Ooh, like, chill.
What a duo. Let's take guesses on.
Also, like, just also see her just bringing out like a lot of people. Just like, you know what, she always does that for her like or her lingerie line, her shows. So I can see her
models. Like, it's just not even any
whole fashion show.
Like, who do we think is going to be next year? I have no idea.
Just following how they normally do it, I think it's going to be a male. Yeah. I would want to do Harry Styles. Like, they have to try to get Harry Styles.
I don't see that fitting. Like, I love Harry, but like, I just don't.
I think, I honestly think it's going to be what?
Get One Direction back together.
Oh, no, I think it's going to be, well, Harry Styles is a football fan though.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I think it's probably, I think it'll be guys or a guy, and I think it'll be someone like more old school.
Let's look back in, because I can't remember. I remember last year's, but let's look back to who's done them in the past to kind of see if we can get a trend. So obviously last year's was like super iconic, and then it was The Weeknd before, and then Shakira and J-Lo, and then Maroon 5 and Justin Timberlake, Lady Gaga, Coldplay, Katy Perry. We might be Harry Styles. I'm trying to think of who else might.
I think it's going to be a guy.
Yeah. I personally liked last year's how it was multiple different performers, but
yeah. Well, it all tied in together. I don't know if they would do that again so close.
Yeah.
But
which makes
yeah.
I'm
gonna lock in Harry Styles because he'll be coming off his tour.
I guess that makes sense. We'll find out.
I don't think it'll actually be him, but that's my hope. I'm manifesting Harry Styles at the Super Bowl, and then him at least bringing Niall Horan out on stage. I would lose my shit.
And Louis Capaldi. Because the besties.
Louis Capaldi. Okay, I can't get started on Louis Capaldi because I could be here for hours. But Louis Capaldi, if you ever listen to this, marry me. Marry me.
I love it. What about T Swift?
So I thought about that, but she's gonna still be. I think, like, since she's just starting her Eras tour, I just don't know.
I don't know either. I could see it. I could see that
doing it, but I don't necessarily think it'll be next year because I think she'll still be touring.
I thought her tour would be over, but maybe not.
No, I don't think it will. So it's starting this summer.
Swift's gonna do it sometime.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think she will. I just don't think it's gonna be this year. I think 2 years it could definitely be her, but I think it'll be way too close to be like. I think she'll just be finishing touring if I'm not mistaken. So like, I mean, maybe she will.
Maybe she will. Maybe she won't. We'll find out.
Yeah.
So, current favorite TikTok trends. What is yours?
Oh, the little bit naughty one.
Yes, that one's a good one. I appreciate that. I have to play to you my favorite TikTok trend. If you have not got that, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Everyone's like, man, the New Zealand like grade school was on something with that. The moose ain't sticking, the water ain't flicking. Like, I don't know what. Yeah. Like, what is with like New Zealand and Australia's like kids stuff starting to blend into the American culture. Like Bluey, now Bad Hair Day song. Like, are they trying to take over?
I don't know.
I'll take being Australian over American any day.
Okay. Did you hear me sending that message?
Yep, I did. Okay. All right. So now let's move on to our girl crush. McKenna, who is your girl crush of the week?
I'm gonna have to do Riri because like Super Bowl, let's keep on with the Super Bowl themed. Also, just like I mean, the fact that she single-handedly ended Victoria's Secret fashion show with just fire like Venti, like with body inclusivity and all of that. Also, like her makeup and just like when like I don't think people realize when she released her makeup line, the like makeup like brands didn't have all those shades. Like she was the one that started like having
she said, I'm like any money, here you go.
Yeah. And so that she really created that wave of everyone like marketing that they have every single like shade color and stuff like that to make sure that they have everyone's skin tone. And so just I mean I think that she is such a smart businesswoman, and the fact that like she was able to take her platform and her following from music, which is iconic within itself, and then go and do so much more. Like she has done so much more for female empowerment. Also, like just like females of color and stuff, just being like a good face for that. And I'm just like, she's a queen.
Yeah. Well, and also like the fact that she just like stopped music and didn't feel pressured to keep going. She was just like, nah, I'm gonna go do what I want, and like succeeded at it. Like probably over succeeded at it. Because how many other people, like celebrities, come out with, you know, clothing line or makeup line, and it just doesn't like it sells well, but it doesn't explode like Fenty brand did.
And like I know everyone's always like Queen Beyonce, unpopular opinion, but like what has she done? Besides stay with the man that has cheated on her multiple times, what has she done? What platform? What has she done to like motivate and empower women? Yep. Exactly. I'm Rihanna. I've always been Team Rihanna. Ever since she was on Bring It On, I've always been with.
What a great movie. Yeah. Good job, Riri. So yes, my girl crush right now is Nicole Lynn. If you don't know who that is, it's okay, because I did not know that name much either. She is the agent of Jalen Hurts. Now let's talk about the bar that Jalen Hurts has set. Jalen Hurts has an all-female management team. Like a pro football player, a starting quarterback in the Super Bowl, has an all-female marketing team. Not marketing, all-female management team. His agent, Nicole Lynn, will be the first ever Black woman to represent a quarterback that is in the Super Bowl. First ever Black woman to represent a quarterback in the Super Bowl. So like she's just crushing it. On that. Yes, like his whole team's female, and like she literally. So there's an article I don't remember where. I think Sports Illustrated was talking about like how they became a team, and she just like had messaged him one day. It was like, you're entering in the draft. Do you have an agent yet? Like, girl shot her shot, like, and was like, we're just going to go with it. And like, opened up Jalen's eyes to how women get treated in the industry. And he's like, why is it any different? And she's like, this is how it is. This is how being a woman in sports, specifically being a presence in the sports world, and stepping on to that level that is significantly male, probably significantly white male. And like, just props to Jalen for going outside the norm, and props to Nicole Lynn for shooting her shot and being the first Black woman to represent a quarterback in the Super Bowl. Like, You go, girl. Crushing it.
Yes, I love it. Love to see it.
Yes.
And just female, like, in the sport industry, or just in, like, females in general who like sports, like, it's just so good to see. It makes my heart happy. It makes my heart sing.
I could go on an hour-long rant on how females in sports world are treated. We don't have time for that. But if you ever want to hear a rant, let me talk about how females get treated in the sports world. Instead, we're going to highlight our charity of the week. So, McKenna, do you want to announce our charity of the week this week?
So, sticking with the theme, obviously we have a common theme. We are highlighting Jason Kelsey's charity, Be Philly Foundation.
The Be Philly Foundation is a nonprofit foundation that's fighting for a better future for the next generation of Philadelphians. So you can go to bephilly.org. They have merch that talks about being an underdog, and that they really are just focusing on financial support and increased visibility to charitable organizations that has a proven track record to improve academic and economic outcomes for students in the Philadelphia public schools. We love getting more involved in the public schools, and so we love Jason Kelsey for creating this, for creating the awareness and working together for the foundation, and hopefully bringing more both financial support as well as more programs to the students of the Philadelphia public schools.
Yes. And especially as someone who works for a public school, like, being able to see, like, the things that, like, fall short and different things like that. And I can't imagine working for, like, an inner city, like, public school too.
No.
And so props to him for, like, understanding that, like, these kids are our future, and that, like, the emphasis that, like, to improve, because, you know, like, private schools don't need it. Like, the rich schools don't need it. Like, the fact that, like, you know, even in these public schools, they're our future too. So go you. Go, Mr. Jason. Good old Ohio boy. Doing good in Philly.
Go Skyline Chili Dips. So, anything else to add?
Nope.
All right. Well, sure has been fun on this first podcast. See, as we recorded one last week and it didn't work out, try again. So, but if that's all, then
hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for next week. And once again, this is for the girls, the theys, and the gays. We'll see you next week.